Hey everyone, and welcome back. You know how much we love to dig into those aha moments, right? And today we're doing just that by shining a light on some seriously impressive Spanish ingenuity.
I agree. It's always fascinating to uncover those often overlooked inventions that have shaped our world in ways we might not even realize.
Exactly. And to get this, the radio segment you all sent in about Spanish inventors, it's like a treasure trove of these aha moments.
It really is. It's a testament to how innovation can emerge from anywhere by observing the everyday and finding ways to make it better.
It reminds me of that saying, necessity is the mother of invention. Take the humble mop, for example. I mean, who hasn't wrestled with one of those at some point?
Right. And back in the 1950s, they were even clunkier than they are now.
Can you imagine cleaning your floors with those things?
Hmm.
Well, back then, an aeronautical engineer named Miguel Jalón decided there had to be a better way.
His inspiration, apparently his wife was constantly struggling with their mop.
And that's how we got the mop with a twist. You know that simple lever and swivel mechanism? It revolutionized household chores.
It's amazing how such a small change can make such a big difference.
And the best part, Jalón didn't stop there. This is the same guy who went on to invent the disposable syringe.
Talk about a game changer. Think about the impact that had on healthcare, improving sanitation and safety for both medical professionals and patients.
From squeaky clean floors to revolutionizing healthcare. Now that's what I call range. But it gets even better because this theme of Spanish inventors working across a wild range of fields, totally a thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Get this, the inventor of the submarine also had a thing for shoe polish.
You're not kidding. Narcís Monturiol, the brilliant mind behind the Ictinio, an early submarine that even predates Isaac Perel's famous submarine.
It makes you wonder what goes on in the minds of these inventors.
It really does. I mean, who looks at a group of kids with sticky fingers and thinks, I know, I'll put this candy on a stick?
Enric Bernat, the mastermind behind Chupa Chups lollipops. Pure genius.
Right. And that inventive spirit we see in these everyday objects, it even extends to the world of sports.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Ever wonder who you have to thank for the scoring system in tennis?
I actually don't think I have.
Well, get this. That's thanks to a Spaniard named Augurio Pereira.
Seriously. So we're talking about homes, medical field, and now even the way we experience sports. This is way more than I expected.
It just goes to show you the impact Spanish inventors have had.
So tell me, before Pereira came along, how chaotic was tennis scoring?
Well, let's just say it wasn't exactly easy to follow.
Really?
Yeah, the points were calculated in a way that seems completely illogical. Now, Pereira's system, the one with the love 15, 30, 40 sequence, it brought clarity and elegance to the game.
Huh. I never knew that. So simple, yet so brilliant. It just goes to show you a well-thought-out invention can have a huge impact.
Absolutely. And speaking of impact, are you ready for a journey back to the Spanish Golden Age?
The Golden Age. Oh, you mean the time of incredible exploration and discovery? Count me in.
Okay, well, picture this. It's 1543, long before James Watt and a captain in the Spanish Navy by the name of Blasco de Garay. Well, he developed something revolutionary, a steam-powered ship.
Steam-powered ship. In the 1500s, that's amazing. What was it called?
It didn't really have a catchy name, but get this, it had wheels.
Wheels on a ship. What was he thinking?
He's thinking ahead of his time, that's for sure.
So was it like an early amphibious vehicle?
You got it. Garay envisioned a vessel that could navigate both open waters and inland waterways.
That's incredible. Talk about a visionary. Did it actually work?
Well, the historical records from the archives of Simancas, which are Spain's national archives, by the way, they confirm that Garay's invention was actually tested.
Ooh, wow. And to think this was at a time when Spain was leading the way in maritime exploration.
Exactly. And that spirit of pushing boundaries, well, it's also evident in another invention from the Golden Age, the diving suit.
Wait a minute, a diving suit back then? Seriously, what did they even make those out of? Animal bladders and hope?
Not quite. It was the brainchild of another fascinating figure from that era, Geronimo d'Ayanci Beaumont, a true Renaissance man.
Okay, so tell me more about this Iance in his diving suit.
Well, he designed a suit that allowed divers to breathe underwater.
Hold on, how was that even possible back then?
He was pretty ingenious, actually. He even demonstrated it himself in the Pisuerga River.
It did, and it worked.
It did. They say he stayed submerged for over 2 hours in front of King Felipe III.
2 hours? That's amazing.
Iance was quite the inventor.
So it sounds like this Iance guy was a man of action as well as ideas.
He really was. He also developed an early version of the steam engine.
No way. So they were working on steam engines back then, too.
They were. He was also interested in mining, so he designed a system to drain mines.
Of course he did. Was there anything this guy didn't do?
Oh. Well, he also invented wind-powered mills.
Windmills. You mean like the ones you see in the Netherlands?
The very same. They've become a symbol of Dutch culture, but the concept actually originated in Spain thanks to ions.
Wow. It's incredible how much one person can accomplish.
It really is. And there's more. He also created a fascinating invention called the self-calculating astrolabe.
Okay, now you're just using big words to impress me. What in the world is a self-calculating astrolabe?
Basically, it was a device used for navigation. It allowed sailors to figure out their course using the stars.
Ah, so it was like an early GPS system.
You could say that it was revolutionary for exploration during a time when accurate navigation was key.
This ions guy was like a one-man invention revolution.
He definitely left his mark on history. And his story got me thinking, there are so many incredible inventors throughout history who don't get the recognition they deserve.
That's true. It's like they're hidden figures in the world of innovation.
Exactly. And speaking of remarkable figures, have you ever heard of the guys some call the Spanish Leonardo?
The Spanish Leonardo, that's a pretty bold claim. Who are we talking about?
Leonardo Torres Quevedo.
Okay, I'll admit I've never heard of him. What did he do?
Well, for starters, he's the brains behind the cable car system at Niagara Falls.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that the cable car system at Niagara Falls was designed by a Spanish inventor? Niagara Falls. Are you serious? The cable car system at Niagara Falls with those breathtaking views and amazing engineering that was designed by a Spaniard.
It's true, and that's not all. Leonardo Torres Quevedo was a true visionary.
A visionary. Tell me more. What else did he create?
Well, he's also credited with inventing the analog calculating machine.
The what?
The analog calculating machine, basically a precursor to the computers we use today.
Wow. So not only did he design an iconic cable car system, but he was also involved in the early days of computing. This guy was ahead of his time.
He certainly was, and his inventive spirit didn't stop there. He also developed an innovative typewriter design.
A typewriter? So we're talking about transportation, computing, and now writing. Is there anything this guy didn't do?
Laughing. Well, he also delved into the world of entertainment.
Entertainment? Like what? Did he invent a new card game?
Not quite, but he did create an early version of the remote control.
No way. The remote control. Okay, now I'm really impressed.
And if that wasn't enough, he even developed the first computer program for a game.
A computer game. Back then, this is unbelievable. From soaring over Niagara Falls to pioneering early forms of computers, typewriters, and even gaming Torres Quevedo's work really does read like a preview of the 20th century.
It's remarkable, isn't it?
It really is. You know, it makes you wonder why his name isn't more well known.
It just goes to show you that there are so many unsung heroes throughout history, people whose contributions have shaped our world, but who haven't always received the recognition they deserve.
That's a great point, and a good reminder to dig a little deeper and uncover those hidden stories. Speaking of which, we can't talk about groundbreaking inventions without mentioning the radio. I mean, imagine life without it.
It's hard to imagine, isn't it?
It really is. Now, I'm going to assume that a Spaniard didn't invent the radio as well.
Well, while Guglielmo Marconi is often given credit for inventing the radio, the story, as with many inventions, is a bit more nuanced.
Oh, how so?
Well, you see, Marconi's system was groundbreaking, but it mainly focused on transmitting signals, not the human voice.
Okay, so how does that relate to a Spanish inventor?
Well, it was actually a Spanish engineer named Julio Cervera who, 11 years before Marconi, achieved the transmission of the human voice wirelessly.
11 years earlier. That's a pretty significant difference. Tell me more about this Cervera and his accomplishment.
Okay, so picture this. The year is 1890, and Cervera successfully transmits the human voice from the island of Ibiza to Alicante on the Spanish mainland.
Wow. So a Spaniard played a key role in the development of the radio. That's incredible. It just goes to show you there's always more to learn. Okay, I need to hear about more of these Spanish inventions. What other surprises are out there?
Let's dive into the world of medicine, shall we?
Medicine. Okay, you've got my attention.
Have you ever heard of the epidural?
Of course. It's a common procedure used during childbirth to help manage pain.
Right, well, that revolutionary pain management technique, that was the brainchild of a Spanish military doctor named Fidel Pages.
Military doctor. Now that's interesting. What led him to this invention?
His invention, a technique to block pain in the lower part of the body, stemmed from his experiences during the war in Morocco in the early 20th century.
The war in Morocco. What happened?
Well, Pages was treating soldiers suffering from horrific injuries, and he was determined to find a way to alleviate their pain. His invention was truly groundbreaking for its time.
That's amazing. It's incredible how an invention born out of the necessity of war could evolve into a procedure that's now used to provide comfort and relief in a completely different context.
It is remarkable, isn't it? And it just goes to show you how human ingenuity can have a ripple effect impacting various aspects of life in ways we might not even realize.
It really makes you think. This entire deep dive has been an incredible journey, uncovering a side of Spanish history I never knew existed.
I'm glad we could share with you.
A huge thank you to our listener for suggesting this fascinating topic. And for all of you listening out there, keep those curious minds engaged, because you never know what you might discover when you delve into the unexpected entrant. Until next time, keep exploring.